First, sorry that I'm little
Uh,
late.
no problem, Prabhuji. You are chanting. All good. But thank you for
Okay.
11th hour notice yesterday. Prabhuji was having different plan like going to Baltimore temple for Mangalarti, but he changed his plan and came us to for this class. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunimilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Srirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः Hare Krishna. We are discussing verse 11 onwards today. This is chapter 1. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha Bhishmam evabhirakchantu bhavantaha sarva evahi ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha Bhishmam evabhirakchantu Bhavantaha sarva evahi. So, translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Duryodhan, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So, in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man. So, everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhan clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection, for the Pandavas. He hoped that the generals would now completely give it up, as they had done during the gambling performances. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this verse here, the this chapter 1 is named by Srila Prabhupada that observing the armies. So Duryodhan is uh, before the war started, before the the conch shells were blown, like, before the war started. So Duryodhan is observing the armies. Like Duryodhan, he went. It starts with Duryodhan went to the Dronacharya first. So Dronacharya, he went to Dronacharya and uh, he observed the army of the Pandavas and his own army. Then he went to Dronacharya. He talked to Dronacharya. And he was trying to motivate. The whole idea was to trying to motivate Dronacharya, because Dronacharya and Bhishma, as Prabhupada is saying in this verse, he knew, Duryodhana knew that they had some affection towards the Pandavas. But Dronacharya, as their teacher, military science was taught by Dronacharya to Pandavas and Kauravas together. And Pandavas, he had some affection for the Pandavas. So that Duryodhana knew that. And same the Bhishma. Bhishma has brought up these Pandavas, like, since Pandu was not there since their childhood. So he had brought up those. So he was grandfather. He has some special affection for Pandavas because they were all pious uh, souls. So knowing this, some way, like Duryodhana in her heart, he was trying to remind Dronacharya that keep of to bring that enmity what he had. So not just keep your affection towards the Pandavas aside, but you remember that enmity you have with Drupad. So Drupad uh, is Drupada and Dronacharya, they have some enmity. They were childhood friends. They were childhood friends. They went to the same Gurukula, and Dronacharya was very poor, and Drupad was from a royal family. So Drupad, they were very close friends. So Drupad promised Dronacharya before leaving the Gurukulu, after he completed his studies, that once I become the king, I will help you, or I'll give you the half the kingdom or something he promised. And when Drupad became the king, Dronacharya went to him for the help, but Drupad insulted him. And he said there can be no friendship between the two people, like between a king and a person like you. He insulted him with the words, and Dronacharya then promised that I am going to uh, take revenge. So that is the enmity, and then the story goes like Drupad had this yagna, and in that yagna that his son was born, and the purpose of his son was born to kill the Dronacharya, and all that enmity was there. Some enmity was there, so he brought up that he went to Dronacharya and he told him that remember that, like, no, this is your enemy Drupad's son, who is the commander in chief on the Pandava side. So this is remember that while when you're fighting, indirectly he was trying to tell them, bring up that feeling of enmity and taking revenge. This is the time you have taught him, and he's using. You taught him the military science, and now he's using it against you. Like now, his whole goal in life is to kill you. So that's a uh, and same thing like Bhishma. So he was like somewhere in the heart, he was afraid that Dronacharya and Bhishma, because of their affection for Pandavas, they may not give their 100%. They may not fight with the full strength. Like no, they may not give their 100% in this battle. So that was he was little bit concerned about it. So that is the reason, and he. It is said here that he was a great diplomat. He went to Dronacharya, and now in this last verse, and then he's talking about the Pandavas army, and then he is talking about the army on his own side. So in the last verse, he talks about the Bhishma. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmam bhirakshitam. Paryaptam tuidam etesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. Says our strength is immeasurable, aparyaptam, immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by Bhishma Bhirakshitam. We are protected by the Bhishma. Paryaptam Tvidam Etesham, but the Pandava's strength is limited. Balam Bhima Bhirakshitam. So he was comparing Bhima versus Bhishma. Bhima versus Bhishma. The Bhishma, and he was completely Bhishma was the this was his main hope. His one main hope to winning this battle or in winning uh, the war. So this Bhishma was very and he knew that Bhishma is like if he fights with all his heart and gives it 100%, there's no way that Pandavas are going to win. But somehow, when Duryodhana was mentioning all the warriors on Pandava's side, he did not talk about Krishna. He did not say a word about Krishna. Lord Krishna, the Lord was not fighting directly. He was the charioteer of Arjuna. He was not fighting directly. So Duryodhana did not mention of him. All the Lord was the instrumental. He was the key to winning the war for Pandavas. But this is the materialistic thinking, that they completely ignore the God. They completely ignored the Lord. And this is what Duryodhana did. He talked about everyone else, but not about the Krishna. So this is so either he's talking about Bhishma. So and Prabhupada is saying here that because Bhishma he mentioned to Dronacharya first, then the Bhishma, and about others. And he did not mention about his other warriors, and there are many other warriors on the Kuru side. So now he's just to so that they do not feel bad. So then he's talking in this verse. This is Aneshu cha sarvechu yatha bhagam avasthita. So he says now he's addressing to other warriors other than Dronacharya and Bhishma. The other he has other warriors which are mentioned in the previous verses, and he so that they don't feel like let down or depressed. That yeah, this is Duryodhana has not mentioned our names. He's underestimating our contribution to this battle or to this war. So he is saying here that yes, you all should protect, you should all support from your respective positions wherever you are there from all your respective positions, you should support Bhishma. Bhishmam Eva Bhirakshantu. We should all support protect Bhishma's position. Bhavant sarv evahi, from all your wherever you are in your strategic positions. So Bhishma was the most important here, like now. So this is the Bhishma is he's the so he was like we all know about the Bhishma, but Bhishma was he was a celibate. He's taken a vow of celibacy. So he's maintained his celibacy vow throughout his life. He was when at the time in the war this battle happened. He was pretty is quite old. That's why next verse said Kuru Vradha Pitamaha. So he was the Kuru Vradha. Vradha is old. He's become old. So there's another indirectly uh, Duryodhana is trying to say, so, yeah, Bhishma is very powerful, but he's become old now. So you all should support Bhishma from your respective positions in the battlefield based on the vyuha or what we have designed to defeat Pandavas. So that's uh, because Duryodhana knew that his victory depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva, but he was the other. Although he had this fear in his heart that Dronacharya and Bhishma they have some affection for Pandavas, but at the same time he also knew that Bhishma and Dronacharya they did not say even a word when the Draupadi was being disrobed. Draupadi was being disrobed in the Kuru assembly. So they had that. So Duryodhan had some kind of confidence that the Bhishma has taken the vow to protect the royal throne of Kurus. So this is Hastinapur. So that is the vow he is taking along with the vow of celibacy. The story uh, it goes like this. This is Bhishma. He was the son of Ganga. He's called Ganga Putra. He was Mother Ganges, his son of Mother Ganges. So this is and his father was Shantanu. But Shantanu married goddess Mother Ganges, and after they had 8 sons, and the first 7 sons, based on their agreement before the marriage, Ganga, she, because of some previous curse, she took all the 7 sons one by one when they were born, and they were all drowned in the Ganges. Bhishma was the eighth son. So the eighth son, somehow, when Bhishma was born, and she was stopped by Shantanu and she left, and all that, so Bhishma remained. So it is said that they are like demigods. They are Bhishma is like the 8 sons of Shantanu and Ganga. They are 8 Vasus. Vasus are demigods, the devatas, the kind of devatas. They say the Vasus. So those Bhishma is the eighth Vasu, and he remained here. But because of some curse, they have to come here and take birth here. So Bhishma, and after that, Shantanu also married Satyavati. Before the marriage, Satyavati was the daughter of a fisherman, Machuara, and then uh, they before, and he put a condition to Santanu for the marriage. He said, like, you have your son Bhishma, he's going to become the king. And if he's so the sons of Satyavati, sons of my daughter, they're not going to, what's going to happen to them? They're not going to get become the king. So if you promise that my daughter, Satyavati's son, they are going to become the king, then only I'll agree for this marriage. So Bhishma, Shantanu, he told Bhishma, and Bhishma that time uh, he took a vow. He took a vow. He said, okay, if that is their fear that I have some greed to become the king or to take the royal throne and become the king of Hastinapur, I take a vow. I take a vow that I will not become the king. I'll not become the king. Although I'll be loyal to uh, the Singhashan or I'll protect all my life. I take a vow that I'll remain loyal to the Hastinapur king. Whosoever is the king in Hastinapur, I'll protect Hastinapur and its territory. I'll not become the king. I'll remain loyal throughout my life. That's one vow he took. Then Satyavati's father, he said, like, okay, Bhishma may not become the king, but what happens? His sons claim they put their claim forward to become the king. So this is then Bhishma took another vow. He said, if that is their fear, so I take a vow that I'll remain celibate. I'll remain celibate for all my life. Brahmachari, we call it remain celibate. I'll not get married and I'll remain celibate. So I'll not have any children. When I'll not have any children, then there'll be no claim for the or no as they feared. So he was it's like brahmachari also Prabhupada talks about in uh, Krishna book, like in Krishna book in the one of the chapters at the end when there are the prayers of the personified Vedas. Prayer, he talks about there are four types of brahmacharis. So there are four types of brahmacharis. The first is called Savitra. So their first kind of brahmachari is called Savitra, which refers to a brahmachari uh, after initiation and after they have their sacred thread ceremony or so they observe the celibacy for 3 days. They should, if they observe the celibacy for 3 days, then they're called Savitra Brahmachari. After that, they can get married. The next uh, type of brahmachari is called Prajapatya or Prajapatya, which refers to brahmachari. They observe celibacy for at least 1 year after their Brahman initiation or their sacred thread, after they receive the sacred thread or Upanayan Sanskar or Janeu, then they are called Prajapatya. The third type of brahmacharis are called Brahma Brahmachari, which which are the brahmacharis. They observe celibacy from the time of initiation, just from time of initiation up to the completion of their studies in the Gurukula or in the up to completion of their studies. Nowadays there's no Gurukula, so you can say any their studies. And the last or the fourth type of brahmacharis, they are nastic brahmacharis. You might have heard this word called nastic brahmachari. Nastic brahmachari, they are those brahmacharis, those celibate people who take a vow and they remain celibate throughout their life, throughout their whole life. So Bhishma took this vow of remain nastic brahmachari or remain celibate for rest of his life from that point onward. So in this connection, Prabhupada gives an example of Narad Muni. The Narad Muni and four Kumaras, they are the nastic brahmacharis. And Prabhupada further explains that if someone remains celibate, then he gets lot of power from that, like no. And one of the power is his memory becomes infallible. Memory of, and that is how this Narad Muni, whatever he heard, he could remember it and reproduce it at any time for forever. So whatever he heard, he could remember it. So memory, your intelligence becomes so sharp, your memory becomes so good. Like, no, this those are power of being a brahmachari. It's a Nastic brahmachari. It's and he was, so he could. That's why one Narad ji also called Srutidhar. Srutidhar means whatever he heard, it will, he'll remember it. He'll remember it, and he can not only remember it, they can reproduce it whenever it is needed. Like we can just quote it like whenever it is needed. So those are four types of brahmacharis. So this is Bhishma here. He was the Nastic brahmachari. He took that vow. I'll remain celibate. And then what happened when the Satvati and marriage happened between the Shantanu and Satyavati, and they had two sons, Chitrangad and Vichitravirya. And then Vichitravirya, Chitrangad passed away because of some disease or something, and the Vichitravirya was there. And Vichitravirya did not have any sons. So Satvati approached Bhishma. It's like, okay, can you unite? And his two wives was with Bhishma only helped them. He went to Kashi. There are three daughters of Kashi Raj, Amba, Ambe, and Ambalika. So Ambe and Ambalika was these wives of Vichitravirya. And Satyavati requested Bhishma, can you unite with Ambe and Ambalika and produce a son, because she's worried about who's going to be the successor of the throne after the Vichitravirya. So that was his main worry. So Bhishma said, I have taken a vow of celibacy, so I can't help you in that. But then she called Vyasadev. So Vyasadev is uh, she called Vyasdev, and Vyasdev is the son of Satyavati. Vyasdev was born Vyasdev was born from Parshuram and Satyavati. Not Parashuram, sorry, Parashar, Parashar Rishi and Satyavati. So Vyasdev was son of Satyavati. So she called Vyasdev, requested Vyasdev to help, like. And Vyasdev agreed to help. When Vyasdev agreed to help, when the Vyasdev came, that Ambe, she closed her eyes. So Dhritarashtra was born, but he was blind since birth. And then Ambalika, he turned pale. So Pandu, since his birth, he was like, he had a pale body. And then when this happened, like, no, uh, so Satyavati requested Vyasdev that one more time. And then Vyasadev, then the second time, like this, Ambes, instead of, she was so scared that she sent her Dasi, so Dashi Putra was, but Dasi was very calm and composed. So Vidura was born. That's why we see Vidura was very wise and intelligent, and he was very not, yeah, he did not have any other like Dhritarashtra and Pandu. So this is how the story goes. This is what happened, like. So Bhishma took these vows, and now he's in the battlefield. He was the commander in chief for first 10 days. Total war lasted for 18 days. And out of this 18 days, first 10 days, the commander in chief was Bhishma Dev from Kaurva's side. And next 5 days was Dronacharya, and then Karna, and then Ashwathama was for one day. So total 18 days goes like this. So Bhishma is the commander in chief here, and this is and so this is what he's talking about in this verse. He's showing his fear. Why this is Prabhupada mentions this point here, that he mentions this fear, that he's thinking that because of their affection towards the Pandavas, they may not give their 100%. So he's there to motivate them like this. There is trying to motivate them so that they give. And another important point, as I mentioned, that he did not mention Krishna's name. Whenever he was talking about the warriors on the Pandava side, he was mainly talking about the Bhima and Arjuna. Bhima and Arjuna. So this is what happens. Like now, this is godless material thinking. Duryodhan not even mentioning Krishna as the, yeah. So he was not fighting, but he's making everything is like now this is going he was planning, he was helping Pandavas, and he was a key to be behind the victory of Pandavas. So this is um, so now in the next verse 12, tat sanjanayan harsam kuru vradha pitamaha सिंहनादं विनद्दोच्चै शंखं दद्मौ प्रतापवान्. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shells very loudly. Singhanadam vinaddochai. Uchai, very loud. Singhanadam, like a roar of a lion, making a sound like a roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Sankam Dadmau Pratapavan. So Bhishma, he did not answer, he did not speak any words, at least he did not say anything. And instead of, when Duryodhana was talking, he blew his conch shell. The blew his conch shell, the sound of the conch shell was so powerful, it was like a roar of a lion. Singanadam Vinaddoche. It was very Shankam Dadamo Pratapavan. So this is that gave some happiness to Duryodhan. So that's because of sound of that conch shell. And Duryodhan, uh, in it indicated to Duryodhan that Bhishma is not going to spare any stones unturned in defeating the Pandavas, and he's not going to. He's the way he blew his conch shell. So that gave some joy to Duryodhana that Bhishma is going to give it 100%. Although the another point Prabhupada is mentioning here, that it was also a symbol. He did not speak, but he also was a symbol. He was indicating to Duryodhana that he had no chance in the victory in this battle. Why? Because Lord Krishna is on the other side. When Lord Krishna is on the side of Pandavas, that's why. And Bhishma, being the devotee of the Lord, he knew that because Lord is supporting the Pandavas, there's no chance for uh, Kauravas to win or for Duryodhan to win this battle. So this is, but Bhishma, as his duty to fight, because he's taken that vow to support and protect the Singhasana and always support the king of Hastinapur, because he's doing his duty for fighting from Kaurva side. But he knew that if Kauravas are going to lose, Duryodhana is going to lose because Lord is on the other side. And being a devotee, he knew it very well. The other point here is Lord has put the Bhishma in this position. Bhishma in this position to show the world that however powerful you may be. And that's true. Bhishma alone could have defeated the Pandavas if Krishna was not there. Bhishma was so powerful, he could have alone annihilated the whole seven Chaudi army of Pandavas. But Lord was the key factor, like for Pandavas' win here, and he knew that. But Lord is trying. Lord has placed Bhishma in our Acharyas, right? Lord has placed Bhishma in such a situation that it's fighting from the other side, just to show the world that however powerful you may be, but if you're not with the Lord, if you're not, Lord is not with you, or if you're not, then or you are fighting against the Lord, then you're always going to lose. That is, Lord has created the situation to place Bhishma on the other side, show that to the world. And Bhagavad Gita, the last slok also we see, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhana, Tatra Sri Vijayar Bhutir, uh, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So this is Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Wherever the Lord is, whatever side the Lord is there, definitely everything. Lord is it's going to be the winning side. Or so this is uh, other point Prabhupada is making here. So let us go to verse 13. तथा शङ्काश्च भैर्यश्च पर्णवानक गोमुखः सहसा एव अभ्यहन्यन्त सा शब्दस्तुमुलोऽभवत्. After that, the conch drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. He's saying after Bhishma, he blew his conch shell. After that, everyone, so that Bhishma was the commander in chief. After he sounded his conch shells, everyone on the Kaurava side started resounding their whatever instruments they have. Their different instruments are named here. The Shankhas, conch shells, Bhairyas is the bigles, Palwana, Gomukha, their horns, all that different instrument. Their warriors on the Kaurva side, they started sounding their instruments. And the combined sound of the whole, all these instruments was very tumultuous, very tumulo bhavat, very tumultuous. Verse 14, we'll go to verse 14. ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवा पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रधत्मतुः. ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते. Uh, the translation, uh, on the other side, both the Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. So this is talking about a chariot of Arjuna. On the other side, so both Lord Krishna and Arjuna stationed on a great chariot. Tataha Sveter Hayai Yukte. Sweti is like white. So the horses in the chariot was white in color, like Sveter Hayar Yukte. They were drawn, chariot was drawn by the white horses. Mahati Syandane Sthitau. Mahati, it was the Syandane chariot, Mahati great chariot. So the great chariot is Sthitau. So they were stationed. the Arjuna and Krishna, their station, they were in this great chariot which was drawn by the white horses. So this is um, this chariot was given to Arjuna by uh, Agni Dev. The Agni, this chariot was given to Arjuna by Agni Dev. It so happened once that the because of accepting too many yagna offerings, but all the in a fire sacrifice, all the offerings are offered through in the Agni, and Agni accepts those offering on behalf of the God, behalf of the Lord and the demigods. Like ultimately, all these offering uh, they go to Lord because He is the Bhokta Ram Yagtatsam Sarvalok Maheshwara. Bhokta Ram Yagtapsam. He is the ultimate beneficiary, He is the ultimate enjoyer. Bhokta Ram Yagtapsam Sarvalok Maheshwara. For all this yagna, He is the Bhokta, He is the ultimate Bhokta, and He accepts that and then He distributes it to other devatas. So that, but they're all accepted through the mouth of fire god in the sacrificial kunda, accepted, offered in the fire. So Agni Dev has become very, very, because of so many accepting so many yagna offerings, he has become low in energy. Like she wanted to rejuvenate or get more energize himself. Like, and for that he wanted to devour this Khandava forest. There's a forest is in the it's called Khandav forest. It's a huge big forest, like huge big forest. And Agni Dev was trying, he was like planning and trying to devour or burn. It's like devour that complete forest so that he becomes more energized again. Like so that was, and he tried many times. He tried many times, but in that forest there was some serpents there, like and they were all the king of those serpents. He was friendly to Indra, so Indra was protecting that forest. So whenever the Agni Dev will try to burn that forest, like no, Indra will shower the rain. Indra will shower the rain, and Agni Dev will not be successful. He tried many times, but Indra was protecting, and every time Agni tried, Indra showered rain, and he was not successful in devouring that forest. So Agni Dev approached Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna and Arjuna, they were there in the Indraprasth, and Agni Dev went there, uh, and he requested uh, Krishna and Arjuna to help him, like, and they agreed. So Krishna agreed. They both. So Agni Dev that time he gave this chariot as a to Arjuna. He gave this chariot to Arjuna, and he also gave this Gandiva, this Arjun's Dhanush, Arjuna's Gandiva. He gave this bow and those tarkas like bow, Dhanush, and what do you call it in English? Like you keep those arrows in that tarkash. So you keep that. So it's a bow and two of them. He also gave that to Arjuna, and they were after being empowered. And this chariot was very. It itself was very powerful. Like it was driven by it. So it's a lot of details of this chariot has been given. So, and then the story goes like that is how Arjuna got this chariot from Agni Dev. So, and this chariot, using this chariot and his Gandiva, he defeated Indra's, or he foiled the efforts of Indra to shower rain and protect the Khandav forest. So Agni Dev was able to devour that forest, and so that is how the story goes. Then that is how he got this chariot, which is being mentioned in this verse. Tata Sveter Mahatisyandane. So the great chariot, Mahatisyandane, is driven by white horses. So and this chariot is not only this chariot, this chariot was uh, had Hanumanji on the flag of the chariot. So Hanumanji was also residing on the flag of the chariot. And that is also another story, like, when before the Kurukshetra war started, Bhima was like in Himalayas, and he was going to Himalaya towards the north, and he saw that one a big monkey is lying on his path, and he's not moving, he's sleeping. And Bhima wanted to go on the other side, but somehow, like, this is his tail of the monkey was blocking that road. So Bhima was like, he told the monkey, "Hey, I have to go on the other side. You remove your tail from the road, so let me go." And this monkey did not move. And after that, Bhima tried to move the tail himself, and he could not even move it even by a millimeter. Like, he was, and then after that, it's a long story short. That monkey was Hanumanji. Hanumanji appeared, and he told Bhima that you are my brother. You are my, and how they are brother? They are both Vayu Putra. So they were both Hanumanji is also called Pavan Putra. And how did he get the name Pavan Putra? As one katha comes, like, when this Heer was given by the demigods after this their yagna Maharaj Dasharath did to beget the sons. So that Kheer, after their yagna sacrifice, demigods gave them a kheer that you can feed this kheer to all your queens, and they'll soon give birth to children. So then, some of that kheer, like, was taken away, by the wind, and in the wind carried away that kheer, and some of that kheer went to, and wind carried it away and put it in the lap of Mother Anjana, who's the mother of Hanumanji. So this is, and she ate that kheer. She ate that kheer, and see, that's how she conceived Hanumanji, and Hanumanji was born from Mother Anjana. Mother Anjana was a celestial. Uh, uh, he came from heavenly planets, but he out because of some curse, he was here as a monkey in a monkey body, and she gave birth to Hanumanji. So because the role of Vayudev in putting that kheer on her lap, and that's helped her to conceive Hanumanji and gave birth to Hanumanji. There's another story also, that Mother Anjani, she prayed and did tapasya and pleased Lord Shiva to get a child. And Lord Shiva said, "Yes, this is my incarnation. Hanuman will be born from your womb." So she was also blessed by Lord Shiva. So it's a Shankar Suvan. In Hanuman Chalisa, we see that Shankar Suvan Kesari Nandan, Tej Pratap Mahajagabandhan. So Shankar Suvan Kesari Nandan. So this is the Kesari. He was son of Kesari and Anjana. That's one. Or he was also Ansha of Lord Shankara, and is also called Pavan Putra because of the role of wind in manifesting Hanumanji, like. So this is, and that Hanumanji, that time when he met Bhima on the Himalayas, he promised. Hanumanji is one of the Chiranjeevis. So you remember there are seven Chiranjeevis. Aswathama Balir Vyaso Hanumanascha Vibhishana. Aswathama, Bali, Vyasadev, Hanumanji, Vibhishana, and Kripacharya, Parashuramascha. Parasuram, Lord Parashuram, Saptaite Chiranjivina. So there are 7 Chiranjeevis. Hanumanji is one of them. So Hanumanji was there in the Treta Yuga. In the Ramayana also, we see Hanumanji is there, and he was there in the uh, Mahabharata time also. But in the Mahabharata time, he was not physically participating in this battle, in this war, but he was on the residing on the chariot of Arjuna's flag on the chariot of Arjuna. And this is because he promised to Bhima, their war was upcoming. It was decided what is going to happen. When the Bhima met Hanumanji, he asked for Hanumanji's help in the war. So Hanumanji said, yes, I will help you, and you're my brother. I'm very pleased, and I'll help you, and I'll decide on the flag. I'll not fight in person or physically, but I'll decide on the flag, and I'll protect the chariot of Arjuna, and I'll not only protect the chariot of Arjuna, I'll also residing on the flag. Like, this is I will also help, like, in fighting the war. It is said that every time they sounded the conch shell, or the Hanumanji added his own sound in that, and that sound, combined sound, was so fearful that demotivated, that depressed the army on the opposite side. So that is how the Hanumanji helped, by protecting the chariot and protecting the helping to reduce the strength on the other side by his sound, adding his sound, fearful sound. So that is also another sign of victory for Pandavas, because Hanumanji was right on the flag, on the flag on the chariot of Arjuna, and the chariot itself was donated or gifted, not donated, gifted by Agni Dev. Like, so, this chariot was very special. So this is and so next line, it says Madhava. First line we talked about the chariot, and the next line talks about Madhava Pandavas Chaiva Divyau Shankau Pradhat Matu. So Madhava, so Lord Krishna, like nice. Many places in seen Bhagavad Gita, these name of Arjuna, the name of Krishna, like, there are many names, but they are very carefully used. There's the meaning of why a particular name is used in that verse, like. And many times Prabhupada explains that in the purport, why a particular name of Krishna or Arjuna was used in that verse. So this is that's a beautiful way of, like, this is indirectly indicating the actual meaning or the purport of that verse. So here it says Madhava Pandavas Chaiva. Since Krishna's name is this verse is not saying Krishna's Pandavas Chaiva. It says Madhava Pandavas Chaiva. The name of Madhav, Krishna's one of the name of the Lord is Madhav. He is this Madhav is mentioned here, and the meaning of Madhav is he is the husband of the goddess of fortune. She's the goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi. He's the husband of, and that is the meaning of Madhava. So that is the name, and Prabhupada is saying that by because the goddess, and whenever okay, so victory is always the person's life, because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And it says, because wherever the Lord is present, Madhava is indicating that wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there. The goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband. Wherever the Lord is there, wherever the husband is there, wife, obviously the wife is going to be there. Wherever Lord Narayan is there, Lakshmi is going to be there. Whenever, so that's why Madhava, like Krishna is here. So goddess of fortune is also with him. And therefore, that's another region, that's another sign of victory for Pandavas. Therefore, they are going to victory was awaiting Arjuna. As this is the by use of the word Madhava, it has been indirectly indicated that Pandavas they are going to win. So Madhava Pandavas Chaiva. So this is uh, Pandavas is Arjuna. Pandavas is Arjuna. Madhava and Pandava they are sitting on that chariot. And what they did, Divyau Sankhau Pradatmatu. Pradatmatu is they sounded, Divyau is divine, Sankhau is conch shells. So this is, they blew their divine conch shells. So this is another important point here Prabhupada brings out. He says, when the Bhishma blew his conch shell, Bhishma blew his conch shell, the word Divya was not used. So the word, because Bhishma, apparently that means in these Bhagavad Gita verses, each word is so important and it has a meaning. And not only the each word has a meaning, the absence of a word has also a meaning. Like now, in the Bhishma's, the verse 12, when he says that Shankam Dadamo Pratapavan, the Bhishma believe is sunk, his conch shell, but the word Divya is not used there. So it's not his conch shells was not divine. But here in this case, when this Arjuna and Krishna, they are blowing their conch shell, they're sounding their conch shells, the word Divya is used, the divine. And that is another indication. That is another, their conch shells were divine. So they sounded, the divine sound came out of them. And that is the word divine, like it gives you the supernatural connection, divine, transcendental, and that's also indication that therefore uh, this is another sign why the Pandavas are going to win. The victory is going to be on the Pandava side because the Lord himself is there, and wherever Lord is there, Mother Goddess is there, Madhava. She is the mother goddess of fortune. She's going to be there, and then their conch shells are divine. The Ratha is divine. You know, like Ratha is special. Hanuman is residing on the flag of the chariot. All these signs, the first and foremost sign, the most important, the Lord is there on their side. All these other signs, they're indicating that victory is going to be on the Pandava side. Pandavas are going to win. So that is, so this is Prabhupada mentions this Jayas tu Panduputranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. So the victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu, because Lord Krishna is associated with them. The Lord is associated with them. So this is the Lord is on their side, so the victory is going to be on the Pandava side. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. So we did 11, 12, 13, and 14, these four verses. There's not much philosophy in these verses, but these are setting up the scene so that the actual philosophy of Bhagavad Gita can start. Lord will start talking from a verse in second chapter. And the first chapter, Lord uh, does not start talking. And the but end of the in this first chapter, Arjuna is going to give. There are total. He gave around 5 reasons for not fighting. Why he preferred not to fight the battle. And out of 5 reasons, 4 reasons Arjuna gives in this chapter, and the last reason he gives in the second chapter. And then that famous verse 2:7, where Arjuna surrenders to the Lord. This surrenders to the Lord, and then Lord starts instructing him as his spiritual master. Lord Sisyaste Twam Maham Aham Twam Mam Prapannam Karpanya Doso Pahata Swabhava Prikshami Twam Dharma Sammud Chetaha. Tam sya nishchitanam bruhi tanme sistyasте aham mam tvam prapannam. So after that verse, when he surrenders to the Lord, the Lord will start instructing and he'll answer all his, he will refute all his five arguments what Arjuna was giving in favor of not fighting the war. So one by one, he refutes all those Arjuna's argument, and that is how the flow will go from first chapter to second chapter. Hare Krishna. Grantha Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments we can discuss at this time? And thank
Excellent.
you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Vinod Maheshwari. Your explanation is excellent, excellent. I've
Oh,
been
thank
hearing
you.
for many, many years, but you brought so many new points and so depth. I'm so thrilled, so happy. I'm sorry I joined a little late because I had some family engagement, so kids were visiting. But whatever I heard, it was amazing.
Oh, thank you,
So thank you
Prabhuji.
for your
Thank you
all
so much.
wisdom and
Thank
taking
you,
up
Prabhuji.
to share with us all this information. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else had any comments, questions,
Hare Krishna,
additions?
Prabhuji. This is Geeta. Thank you
Hare
for this
Krishna.
wonderful class, Prabhuji. Can you please repeat the 7 Chiranjeevis you talked, I missed some of them. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we have Aswathama Balir Vyaso. Aswathama Bali Maharaj, Vyasadev, Hanumanji, Vibhishana, and Panch, and then Kripacharya and Parachuram.
Ashwathama got for the wrong reason, right?
Yeah, there is a story behind that. Like,
But
yeah,
it's not for
Aswath,
not for divine purpose, right?
yeah, correct. He got that benefit, but he did not
Yeah.
use it in the Lord's service. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right, Shyamratika Mataji, do I have your permission to log off if there are no more questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectar class. As Vinod Prabhu said, there are so many new things we listened today, and you shared so nicely in the details about the background of Bhagavad Gita and all the details. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Your classes are
Thank you.
always in detail study of e- every point, like whatever point you choose, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Point, sorry, topic, not point, topic. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Anybody has any question or comment? You did 2 verses, right, Prabhuji, today?
We did 4, right?
4,
11, 12, 13, 14. 4.
14. Sorry.
We can continue from 15.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So let's pay sincere to all the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatari Vaishakrupa Sindhu Vevacha.
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavnebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namaha.
Namo
Nand
Namah.
Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Ki
Gaur
Jai.
ठाकुर की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय,
Jai.
भगवद गीता की जय, इस वृंदावन विजय प्रभु की जय. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Wonderful class. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Nikunda.
Hari Bol.
Hare
Hari
Krishna,
Bol.
Prabhuji.
Hari Bol. Hari